Hello, my name is Andrew Kahn, and I want to get right into this talk, um, and hopefully some additional talks will come out of it, and I can focus more. But the talk that I gave was titled "From United to Scattered to Sacred." It was a talk on Jewish resilience and light, and we explored the Jewish journey through exile and different forms of anti-Semitism and the return um, to 1948. And we also explored how the teachings of Tanya reveal the divine light that continues to sustain us. In the talk, our goal was to reflect on survival and strength and the sacred truth that has carried us through history. So let me move through it. What I wanted from the group was first to connect with Jewish history, not just as a series of events, but an unfolding spiritual journey, and to internalize the truth of resilience, understanding that survival is not just about enduring, but about carrying the sacred forward. That's really the secret to Jewish survival, in my view. If we're not carrying the sacred forward, we might survive a little while. We might be comfortable, but we're not getting the job done that we're created to do. And so there's no power. There's only power if you're doing what you're here to do. That's where the power, protection, and the help comes from all different places and unexpected ways. I'm already seeing that. I want the Jewish people to embrace their role as carriers of light, whether through faith, knowledge, ethical living, or community action. And I think others who want to join can. No conversion necessary. And in some cases, we're joining you. See, there's no monopoly on having faith or having knowledge or ethical living or taking community action. So different groups joining across divides to help with what's worthwhile. And what's worthwhile, first and foremost, is life. Life is sacred, life is precious, life is created in God's image, and no group at all should be demonized or dehumanized. And I just want to be clear that that goes both ways. As a Jew, I'm particularly sensitive to Jewish hate. My grandfather came from Poland. All of his family that stayed behind was murdered, along with 6 million other Jews and millions of other people. I know what hate can do. And I know some of the things that are necessary to help create a different momentum. I do see too much hate right now, and I want to be a part of something else. So another goal was to combat misconceptions and prejudice and build nuanced understanding, standing firm against hate of all kinds, and fostering dialogue. So let me end this first clip, and I think I'll do another clip. Yeah. Nope, I don't think that's a good idea. I think what I'm going to do is just continue with this and edit it afterwards. So here we go. From united to scattered to sacred. By the way, I just want to mention that I can't take complete credit for poems and what I write because I use AI like so many people. But the spirit that I'm trying to communicate, I would only say the words or say the poem if they work well for me and what I'm trying to convey. So here is from United to Scattered to Sacred, an opening poem. We were once a single flame, one voice beneath the stars. Then winds of exile scattered us to deserts, ghettos, wars. Yet still we sing, still we rise, still we carry cyanized light. Through chains and fire, through hate and fear, the light within refused to disappear. Not broken, refined, not lost, reassigned. Every step of sorrow a path to the divine. So gather the sparks, raise them high. We carry the flame, we walk with the why. Not just to survive, but to sanctify. Okay, 1, Jewish history. So in this part of the class, we reviewed some videos. We've been exiled, we've been scattered, yet somehow we've endured from Babylon to Spain, from pogroms to the Holocaust. We've been driven out, but never destroyed. And now, well, in 48, there was a return to the land. But most important is not the land itself, even though the land is, in my view, critical. But it's a return to purpose. Now, I say the land is critical because from my, as I mentioned, my grandfather came from Poland. And I'm very aware, I'm very extra sensitive to Jewish hate, anti-Semitism, and violence directed at my people, but I also care about other people too. And I'm going to get to that very soon. But with regard to my own people, I feel that the Jewish people, if ever there was a group of people that needed their own state or country, it's the Jewish people, persecuted, massacred, expelled. They need a land. They can't be dependent upon another entity to protect them indefinitely. And so that's how I see it. Now, I know that might be at odds, or it is at odds with people that see anyone who has this belief as a curse, and I'm willing to talk that out. But I do in that sense. You can count me in as a Zionist. If a Zionist is someone that believes that the Jews should have their own homeland, should be able to return. And I say return because, they have had a presence there long before 1948, thousands of years before. So anyway, let's continue. I don't think I'm going to be showing other videos in this video. So, but we watched a piece, and maybe I can find a way to link it in so that those people that want to watch something, it's called The Origin of Judaism, and it's on YouTube. The second piece that we went into was anti-Semitism and inner strength, Tanya's perspective. I've been studying the Tanya little by little. I'm just a beginner. And I study it in English, which, I really think that there's something to be said for studying things in their original, a certain nuance that one gets. But we all have to work with what we've got. So as do I. So anti-Semitism. Why does hate persist? Why do even those who despise us receive life from God? The Tanya teaches everything exists only because God is constantly recreating it every moment. Even those who hate are still alive only because God wills it. If we truly saw the spiritual force within all things, physicality would vanish from our eyes and we'd see only divine breath giving life. So the truth, according to this teaching of the Tanya, is that there is nothing else but God, and he sustains everything, including us, with love and purpose. So we walk with confidence, we align with truth, and we shine light in dark places. I showed a couple of videos. One, why are Jews targeted? And another one giving a little bit of perspective about, hate and those who just are fed to hate Jews. It's really not part of the solution. As I've said, anytime a group is demonized and dehumanized, it ends up leading to very bad things, not just for that group, but for those perpetrating, those perpetuating and perpetrating those ideas. In Germany, of course, Hitler, convinced everyone that Jews were vermin and that they needed to be exterminated, and so people eventually felt that they were doing a good thing by, killing. And but this can happen, in other places. It does happen, and it can happen with other groups too. So I'm going to say that demonizing and dehumanizing are part of our problem, not ever part of our solution. So let's here. I took some teachings. There was a book called "Close the Door on Hate," published by the Anti-Defamation League, I believe. 101 Ways to Combat Prejudice. And I wanted to see what's really relevant today. Probably the whole book is still relevant, but what's going to help us right now in our kind of unique moment. And I was given back 6 different goals. The first one, speak out against blanket vilification. It's vital to distinguish legitimate criticism of policies from sweeping hate against a people or identity. Calling out unfair stereotyping or demonization of all Zionists or all Jews or all Palestinians is essential to prevent hate, prejudice, and violence from endlessly growing. Number 2, promote nuanced understanding. Conflict can blur realities. Educating people about the complexity of the situation, the difference between political ideology, religion, and ethnic identity helps reduce simplistic us versus them thinking. So it's very tempting to see things in black and white. Either you're oppressed, either you're an oppressor or you're oppressed. Either you're white or black. Either you're a Zionist or Jew, or you're a Palestinian. Either you're a have or you're a have not. Like this kind of black and white thinking, it's very tempting, but the reality is that things are a bit more complex. And if we understand history, we understand that complexity. And this is often very helpful if we want to eventually learn to live in peace. If we just have this us and them thinking, that's a big problem. Unfortunately, I think there are a lot of bots presently that are kind of spewing things all over social media that are serving to divide people, to divide our country. And I love America. Not because America is always right, but for the ideals that it stands for that have not been lost. The ideals still exist, even if we sometimes falter and take some steps back. I think we're still moving forward, and we have to keep moving forward. So number 2 was promote nuanced understanding. Number 3, maintain human dignity for all. Even amidst war, every person, Israeli, Palestinian, white, black, wealthy, impoverished, every person deserves respect and recognition of their humanity. And upholding this principle cuts against dehumanizing narratives that fuel hatred. So number 3, maintain human dignity for all. Number 4, build bridges despite tensions. Intentional connection with diverse voices and communities fosters empathy and resists the pull toward division and baseless hatred. So number 4 was build bridges despite tensions. Number 5, counter hate speech and misinformation. Conflict zones are ripe for propaganda and falsehoods. Actively challenging hateful or false claims about Zionism or Jews or Blacks or Palestinians or Muslims or Arabs or any other group is crucial to prevent escalation of hate and violence. So number 5, counter hate speech and misinformation. Number 6, support peace and justice initiatives, encouraging and uplifting efforts that promote peaceful coexistence, justice, and mutual respect provide a positive path forward. So summed up, these tools that were put together by the Anti-Defamation League, they don't disappear because of war. In fact, they become even more urgent. The goal remains to protect human dignity, to combat prejudice in all its forms, and to keep alive the possibility for peace and understanding beyond the conflict. We have to work on this together. I think I'm going to end it there, even though there is another piece, but I think I'll do that as a totally separate video. Let's see where it goes. You know, we all need to create this conversation, and we need to bring the conversation out more broadly to protect our country from the potential of civil war or lots of chaos, and to protect other countries and create a more peaceful world. And so I hope you'll help in whatever way you can. And thank you for viewing this, and sharing it spreads the message. But let's keep the conversation moving forward and developing.